Our next speaker, today she stood in Parliament, calm, she stood like the Rock of Gibraltar, meticulous, unshakable, exposing a budget that gave with one hand, but took back so much more in cunning and calculation. Ladies and gentlemen, this is no ordinary woman. Yeah! Today, the country stopped, not in fear, but in awe. Calm in posture, fierce in principle. She fights for us. She defends us. She rallies with and for us. And clearly, she is already getting under their skin because all of a sudden it's about the Privileges Committee. She is the fire in our fight. She is the strength in our cause. She is the leader who will restore government that works for the people, transparent, accountable, effective. Our political leader, our champion, the Honorable Penelope Beckles Robinson.
So my band comes to my father here. Yeah! Easy for me, isn't it? Never give up, I know what I need to do, I hear that. Yeah! On our way to him, freezing fence every name. We are going to this time like plane. Come up here, finish all like plane. Everyone have a dream, come on like plane. Every day, we are going to this time like plane. Come up here, finish all like plane. From me, I need to do. Me tell myself, me have a plan. Me want famous like Ninja Man. Me want big like Ninja Man. Yeah!
Great is the PNM.
You know, when something going live, you have to be careful what you say. The tax on this are going up and take a drink. Water. Oh yeah, the plus. Let me just say good night, but I am in the constituency of Port of Spain, North St. Anne's West, your member of Parliament. Our former Prime Minister, the Honorable Stuart Young. Let me specially acknowledge His Worship the Mayor of the City of Port of Spain, Alderman Shinwa Allen, and all other councillors. Let me acknowledge my deputy political leaders who are here, Sanjeev Budu, all other officers of the party, all members of Parliament, People's National Movement. Good night. So Stuart would have told you that, you know, we are having this meeting. There's a traditional meeting, Pigot's Corner, and I'm seeing our matriarch, former minister, the Honorable Joan Yule Williams. Special acknowledgement. And when, you know, Stuart and I discussed this meeting and we were trying to decide, should we go to the traditional Pigot's Corner, should we come here? You know, we were thinking about the weather and we decided to come here. It doesn't matter whether we are there or here, we are in Port of Spain North, St. Anne's West, continuing a tradition established by the People's National Movement to have our meeting on the same day that the leader of the opposition or the leader of the party speaks in the Parliament. You would have heard today that following my contribution, I've been sent to the Privileges Committee. Now, you know, when that happens, you have to be very careful. I want to say to all of you, fear not. Nobody would muzzle your political leader. It has something called panic and desperation. That's what I want to tell you. Because, you know, they're looking for more things. And we have to be careful. We're not giving them no excuse. But I'm saying to you, they will not muzzle the people's national movement. So we have our colleagues talking, and we are managing. And let me say to you that this was my first budget presentation as the leader of the opposition and the first female leader of the People's National Movement. I cannot take all the credit because it was a team effort. A number of my colleagues would have prepared contributions to make sure that I was able to deliver in the way I delivered today, including your Honorable Member of Parliament, who would have provided as well a contribution on my behalf, part of it that formed the team effort so I could deliver as effectively as I did today, and I thank him very much. So we are here, but we are monitoring very closely what is happening there. Because I'm sure you would recall that there are many times that they would have stayed away from the parliament and we got up and concluded the debate. You all wouldn't want that to happen whilst we are here. So we are monitoring. But what is very important for me is that it was a couple months ago that I was here with your councillor, Janelle Young, and your member of parliament, your councillor that has a foundation called the Pineapple Foundation, doing a project to empower women. That's the last time MP Young and I were here. I'd like to congratulate her for the good work that she's doing to empower women. Let's give her a round of applause. This month will be just over 3 months that I'm the leader of the People's National Movement. Some people think it has been a very long time. And I will say here what I've said in many other places. It's not easy to be in opposition. There are only 2 persons right now in the parliament who would have been in opposition for a very long time, and that is Minister Imbert and myself. Dr. Rowley used to remind us from time to time that when you're in opposition, your political leader could only appoint 6 senators. And so many people in Trinidad and Tobago believed that when the UNC said, when they win, everybody wins. And they believed it. Some of y'all took a chance. I told many people, politics is not a raffle. And when they come to you about chance and chance, that is not no time to take no chance. And I know, as Stuart said a while ago, if many of you had the opportunity to vote again, the People's National Movement will be back in office. When you have the opportunity to compare, you know what is chalk and you know what is cheese. But it's a dangerous thing to put yourself in a position where you have to compare and to find out that you gave up something that you should have never given up. But at the same time, we in the PNM also must accept some responsibility for where we find ourselves today. And we must undertake to do better. There is nothing wrong. There is absolutely nothing wrong in saying we must do better and we must listen more. Some people have a difficulty with me saying that, but you have to listen. And since I have assumed responsibility as a political leader, that's precisely what I've been doing. Going to many constituencies and listening. Listening and listening and listening. and given the undertaking to do better. So let me just say that things may not always be the way we want, but as a team, we have to ensure that we do our best to ensure that the People's National Movement returns to government within the shortest possible time. And we can only do that with your help. We can only do that with your help. We can only do that with your commitment. And those of you, because I'm seeing many people who I know here, who would have been in opposition before, and you remember what those days were like in Balize House, when it was challenging for us, and Dr. Rowley built it back from the days when there were few people, and we returned back to government. I want to give you the assurance and remind you that when we lost in 1986, 33, many of you and many persons in the country decided the PNM dead. And we could never return to government from 3 seats. In 5 years, we were back in government. As a matter of fact, in 1988, the said government collapsed and there was the formation of Club 88. Know your history. So it is on 3 occasions that we lost. We call elections early on more than 1 occasion, but on each and every occasion, the Balize revived. And you all know that in the selection of the Balize as a symbol, it is because if you chop it down, it grows back. If you burn it, it grows back. The Balize never dies. So we are going through a patch, but we will rise. And it's up to us to be committed to rise. It is up to us to do the hard work. Let us face it. It is not a question of just sitting down and say, well, all right, you know, like some people saying, they ain't gonna last, and that may be the case, but you also have to prepare to make sure that when we get there, we do what we have to do. So there are a couple things that I want to mention to you. And you know, the budget could be a very complicated thing. I want to urge those of you who have the time, your member of parliament may or may not speak tomorrow. At the rate they are going, he may very well speak in the morning. We really don't know. But if he speaks tomorrow and you have the time, don't only come to the meeting tonight, go and listen to him. Go to the parliament and listen. There are too many of us who do not take the time to go and give the kind of support that we should. It is not only to come to the meeting and clap and go and hear him. Now, yes, you could hear him on the television, you could hear him on your phone, but just think about it. Sitting down there in Parliament and looking up there and seeing the gallery and see some of you from Port of Spain South, just imagine what inspiration and encouragement that is. Yes? But not only that, it also gives you a better understanding of the budgetary process. So let me just continue where your honorable member of parliament left off. And specifically, I want to talk a little bit about Port of Spain, because that's where we are. We are in the city of Port of Spain. And interestingly enough, when we are in opposition, that is when there's a lot more pressure on local government. Because that is when, for sure, you know who your councillor is. Because very often you know that your member of parliament does not have the resources to deliver in the way in which you want. True or not? True. Good. So your honorable member of parliament spoke about garbage collection. But let me just go through a few. Electricity, $963,950. in 2025. In 2026, 671,000, a reduction of 30%. Hear me well. Rent, leases, vehicles, and equipment, 67,810. Now down to 42,000, a reduction of 38%. Office stationery, 586,000 in 2025, 2026, 375,000. Materials and supplies, 2.1 million. 2026, 1.3 million. And that is for asphalt. You know when you want the little, yes, that little patching and so, you go by your MP, and the MP say, okay, go by the councillor. You see what happened here? I want to go through a few again. Short-term employment, very important. 4.6 million under the PNM. 3.3 million under the UNC. I'm not giving you the exact, okay? Other contract services. Mayor, what is that for? The garbage collection. Right, because everybody knows that when you leave Port of Spain Carnival Tuesday and Monday, you try to figure out if a ban pass. That is because of the work of the Port of Spain City Corporation. 20.9 million, going down to 13.4 million. You all hearing? Fuel and lubricants, 1.1 million, going down to $600,000. So, when you go by the mayor, and the mayor cannot deliver, remember whose fault it was, whose fault it is. And not only that, understand that when you take the decision, because local elections coming in, as a matter of fact, they were tempted. They wanted to bring it early. Yes, they wanted to bring it early. Until the people of Trinidad and Tobago start waking up and tell them, if you're brave enough, call the election. Call elections. Because you can't treat people and promise again that when UNC win, everybody win. Everybody win here in Port of Spain? I want to spend a little time, because even I'm in Port of Spain, I want to ensure that you understand how wicked this government is. Arima Borough Corporation, 2025, $18.2 million. You want to guess how much we get in 2026? You want to guess how much Arima getting? 5.6. A decrease of $12.6 million. I want to give you all the PNM corporations. Dago Martin, 17.4 million, 2025. 2026, 11.1. All you wake up, Port of Spain City, and this is the development program, projects. 19.7 million the PNM gave to Port of Spain. In 2026, this wicked, vindictive government, 4.1 million, a reduction of 15.6 million. I'm reading it out. Point 14, 17.6 million the PNM gave them in their allocation. UNC, 5.5, a reduction of 12.1 million. San Fernando, 20 million the PNM gave. The UNC, 18.5, a reduction of 1.5. Tuna Puna, 18 million given by the People's National Movement, the UNC 17.2, a reduction of 0.8 million. Now listen to the UNC corporations. And I hope all are listening, you know. All right? Shogunas. The PNM. Now, if you note the figures, under the PNM, everybody get between 17 and 20, right? 17.2 million the PNM gave Shogunas in 2025. How much you think they gave themselves? 37. An increase of 20. Yes. When UNC win, everybody wins. Hoover, Tabakit, Talparo, the PNM 17.1. Under the UNC 19 million, an increase of 1.8. Mayaro 17.2 under the PNM. Under the UNC 18.8, an increase of 1.6. Penal DB under the PNM 17.1. Under the UNC 38, an increase of $21 million. Yes, everybody winning? Princestown, 17.3 million under the PNM, under the UNC, 37.4, an increase of 20 million. Sandy Grande, 17.7, under the UNC, 18 million. An increase of 250,000. And Separia, 17.3 under the PNM, 21 under the UNC, an increase of 3.7. All you understand what's going on? All you understand what's going on? And they want to stand up in the parliament today and give, or try to give the PNM all kind of pressure and make you believe that they care about everybody. Let me just tell you all something. What I just read out to you here, you could get it for yourself. Because it's a public document. And that is why I'm telling you about the importance of meetings like these. So people can recognize, as I said today, all they are doing in the parliament, it is like Christmas. You're giving a gift. You buy nothing, nothing in the box. A big, big box, wrapped with the best gift paper, plenty bow, plenty fluff, cotton, all kind of thing in it. And you're opening, and you're opening, and you're opening, and you're opening. And when you check yourself, nothing. Suck salt. I want to explain to you something simple. Because some of you might hear the big words about revenue and expenditure and a deficit. Right? I'm breaking it down, yes. I want to break it down about this deficit. And they're telling you that they only have a 3 million deficit, but they're borrowing $19 billion. Let me tell you simple. You're working for $5,000, yes? But you know some of us has worked for 5 and spent it. So that, and you know there are certain times when your wife giving a little trouble, and your money run out, and you say, well, okay, I'm going to take a loan. So you go by the bank, you say no. Go by the credit union, you say no. So where are you going next? Where are you going? Money lender. And you know the interest, right? So right now, the way this government has put the country in trouble no bank I want to lend them. You getting the picture? So that they want to sell out this and they want to sell out that. You understand? And when you catch yourself, they go in by whoever lending them the money. At any cost. So let me just put it simple for you. When the people's, all the years that the People's National Movement has been in office, I want you to put up your hand. How many of you pensioners went to the bank and they tell you they can't change your check? Put up your hand. But do you know, just last week in my constituency, a pensioner come by me for a little change. I couldn't say no. Because the pensioner showed me the check. And he went to the bank. And the bank say, the government ain't put no money there. A lie? How many of you know of pensioners went, and you know, a lot of them ain't trust the bank. A lot of them ain't trust the bank. So you're seeing them line up outside Royal Bank waiting. You know how hard it is, Stuart? You know how hard it is to reach by that counter? And that... Shamfa, excuse me, I didn't see you. Let me welcome my sister from Tobago. Yeah! Shamfa, you know how hard it is for somebody to leave Castara, come down to Scarborough, go on in the line, you reach by the cashier, you present the check, and they tell you, it ain't no money. That is what's going on. When UNC wins, everybody wins. We designed a system where the money could be automatically deposited. You know, it has some of them want to check, and there's some of them say, put the money there. And you go on yourself with your card, because when you go on, you know, you tell yourself, when you put in a card and a paper come out, you tell yourself you forget the number, right? And that's why you tell yourself you forget the number. So you see the old people, they're going back in their purse, they check again, and you put back in the number, and a paper come out. So they go in the bank now to find out. No money. So as I look here now, I see a next former member of parliament. Yes? The hardest hard. The one and only Eddie Hart. Man from Tunapuna. So you have to think about what you're going to look forward to when we get back in government. Because let me tell you something. You see things like public assistance, social welfare, that is what you talk about government by compassion. Because there's no way the People's National Movement will cause you to collect a check or to go in a bank and then get your money. I wasn't here when COVID started, but I know that Dr. Rowley, Colin Imbert, Stuart Young, and all my colleagues made sure that during COVID, even though the price of oil dipped and we were not getting the kind of revenue that we expected, we managed the economy in such a way now, let me take a little drink, right? We managed the economy in such a way that not a single person lost their jobs. And that at no point in time, you went to the bank and your salary wasn't there. That is government and governance by the People's National Movement.
Great is the PNM.
So imagine you in government 3 months, 4 months, and you can't pay people their money. Could you imagine that? They ain't even give themselves a year. And y'all really think, you really believe it's going to get better? The URP people, the CPEP people, the reforestation people, all the people on contract. I mean, I don't know if you all listened to the Honorable Prime Minister when she took her oath by the President's office. Every word, I love you, I love you. The amount of love. The UNC have a different definition of love. The definition of love under the UNC and the definition of love under the PNM is different. Because you can never love people on the day you are sworn in as the Prime Minister, and within less than a month, you send home so many people that in a few months now, it's almost 50,000 people that are home. And think about the impact of that. I am sure there are councillors here, there are former ministers here, and don't feel that because Faris is no longer an MP, they ain't going by Faris for books. Don't feel that way. All of you know that during this vacation here, because when we were in office, Dr. Dolly ensured that the process to give out the grants was completed. It was just a question of you getting it. They come into office. How many people here know somebody get a grant? Put up your hand. I wonder how much of all they went by Stuart for books and bags. I ain't going to ask all to put up all your hand. The reality is, they don't care. They absolutely do not care. Not only that, they also have a different definition of lying under the UNC. Because they will stand up straight and lie. And you just begin to question yourself because you can't believe they could lie so good. So I want to tell you, my people, you see, election going to come again. We have election in Tobago, you know. We have election in Tobago soon. Then you never know, because they have a constitutional majority and they could have local government come early. And then you could have general elections. And I'm warning all you, they go come back and sweeten all you again. I warn all you about the lying. And they're going to come and promise you ham, lamb, and jam. If they could tell you that they move more items off of VAT, we moved those things since 2016. Well, I hear what I just tell all you. We move it since 2016, Mr. Hart. You believe these people gone in the parliament and the same thing we move in 2016. You know these people come and tell you they move it in 2025 and they're telling you boldface so. They're telling you they move VAT off of lettuce, tomatoes. And they want you to suck salt. People, this is serious business. Now, you know, some people think that when you have to touch the issue of alcohol, it's a very sensitive matter. Because, you know, alcohol is sensitive for certain people. It is sensitive for me. Because I will tell you this, as a Trini, even if you don't drink, you respect those who drink. Once they don't abuse it. You know what I mean? So when the bottle of White Oak moved from 110, 120, depending on where you are, it could be 110. And it going to $160. No. Because not everybody drinking, you know, some people start putting it in the cake. You understand what I'm saying? So sometimes they feel all that we drinking when we putting it in the black cake or the punch cream. You get me? Writing down? Yes. And the interesting thing, they only do it on local alcohol. Now you tell me. Now your MP say about Grey Goose. Important. Because you know there are some people that like. But let us be serious. We all understand that from time to time, you go by the river, you go by the beach, you have a little line by the family. You understand what I'm saying? Not only that, it's a tradition. You can't buy one beer for yourself, you buy a rungs. You know what happening? You can't buy no rungs again. And these people are saying, and either Stuart or Faris, what is the revenue generation that they're supposed to, you remember? Yes. Yes. They are claiming that with this increase in tax, they're going and get over $1 billion. Now you tell me. You tell me. So I'm just saying to you all, something ain't making sense. Now, not only that, I just talking for a few minutes again. As it relates to the penalties for careless driving and 15,000 and all of that. Now, you recall that we put in place a demerit system. The accidents went. Well, let's see what's going on. Every day. And they are telling you that they're going to make over $1 billion from them. You understand? Because they just don't want to say that the PNM's policy was successful. So they just want to play with our head. And the last two things I'm going to talk to you about is the issue of this 10% salary, where they want to try and make the PNM look like we wicked. Let me just tell you all something. It comes back to understanding how the budget works. Going back to my point, revenue is what you're collecting. Expenses is what you're spending. And the reason why I have a budget, so the public will know what you're spending and what you're collecting. And if you have to pay something, you have to put it there. Now, you're going to pay. Remember that? You're going to pay the public servants 10%. Remember that? Where is the Where is the money in the budget? Nowhere. Nowhere to be seen. Do not get fooled. Now imagine you put this in a manifesto. The president of the Public Service Association went on the platform, 10%. Come the month of October, in the parliament, in the debate, you know them going and tell you that they're not going to negotiate? You ever hear anything? But if you tell me you're giving me 10%, what you negotiated? It's supposed to be nothing. Don't worry. Wait and see. The last thing I want to talk to you about is property tax. And this new thing called landlord, they give it a big name. Landlord surcharge. Now, everybody know that when you get exactly what the government give you, or you want to make a little change, you're a pensioner, you put a little annex there, and you raise a little something. It mightn't be a 2.5, it might be you know they're going and tax that? You know they're going and tax that? Remember what Kamla Prasad, Bissessa, tell you all. I can't find it here because I don't have the time. But she made the point that no government should be taxing and taxing and taxing. Remember that? And she said that when they go into government, it's no more tax. A lie? She lied. They come into office now, and it's only tax and tax and tax and tax. And so many people believe them when they said to you, no property tax. All you remember that? And all you believe that, right? But you know that plenty people believed it. And they voted for the UNC on the basis that you say no property tax. In 1 week, Mr. Tanku, Minister of Finance, hear what he say? You're going and get back your rebate. Rebate? Kamla tell him, I never say that. No rebate. They have been collecting hundreds of millions of dollars of property tax. You know they talk about that in the budget? We have heard nothing. And you know that under this PNM government, we were doing local government reform. And those taxes were going to go to the city corporation. So they would have been in a position to use the money collected to be able to do all the things that you wanted them to do. This government has denied the corporation their property tax. So I don't want to say any more tonight. I don't want to say any more. I want to say to you about the importance of listening. I want to say to you that this government is all about fluff. This government is all about marketing. This government is all about playing with your head. This government is focusing on getting consultants so they can package their lies and convince you that they care about you, when in truth and in fact, they do not. So we know, as an opposition, I'm closing, we know we have work to do. We are focusing on building our team so that we can be a better party. We are focusing on listening and preparing ourselves to return to government. We are doing our consultations in as many constituencies as possible. As your political leader, I now have an office day. You can come to see me in Balize House. Yes? And I have said, as a matter of fact, I had office up till last week in Balize House. I see people as the leader of the opposition. I've also promised that once I go to Tobago as well, I will also have an office day in Tobago. Yes? So let me say to you that as much as we are in opposition, and as much as you would be disappointed, frustrated, let us work together as a party. Let us recognize that we have had our challenges, and from time to time we may have our differences, but our focus is the PNM. Our focus is government. Our focus is governance. Our focus is to return to office within the shortest possible time. The People's National Movement celebrates 70 years as a party next year. And no matter what they try to tell you, Dr. Eric Eustace Williams is the father of the nation. And there's no way, at no time, at no place, that the People's National Movement is going to die. So we may be going through, as we would say in Trinidad and Tobago, sometimes a little hard times. But fear not, the PNM will be back in office. And you will be able to shout and say, great is the PNM, great is the PNM. And we shall
Great is the PNM.
So hard work, it's easy for me, isn't it? Never give up, I know what I mean to do, I hear that.
Great is the PNM.
Unstoppable, turn out your train, every zinc fence, every lane.
Ladies and gentlemen, another round of applause for our political leader, the Honorable Penelope Beckles Robinson.
Yeah!